The Horror Group, Mortgage Planning Strategies.
Hello everyone, my name is Francisco Hara with the Hara Group, and I'd like to take a few moments of your time today to talk to you about a program that few people have heard of and yet fewer people understand. It's a program that's specifically designed for first-time home buyers who in the past have felt limited because of down payment and other qualifications. The program is called the California Home Buyers Down Payment Assistance Program, otherwise known as CHDAP. Now at its base, CHDAP is essentially an FHA loan that allows for down payment assistance, which comes from the state of California, allowing buyers to purchase property with 1% contribution of their own funds. Now every situation is unique and requires a specific plan, but I'd like to talk to you about three key features that the program has, and specifically a strategy on how we can use the program to not only purchase the property, but how to make the investment safer after we close. So the first key feature is that of the down payment. The down payment with CHDAP is essentially 1% versus a standard 3.5%. The other portion of the down payment would come from the state of California, which in turn ties a silent second where no payment is due on the property, and that mortgage eventually would have to be paid off at the time that the property is sold or if the mortgage is refinanced. The second key feature is that of interest rates. Even though you're simply putting 1% versus a standard 3.5%, there is no difference in interest rate from one program to the other, allowing you to take advantage of historically low interest rates, which are currently hovering in the high threes. The third key feature of the program is that of the qualification nature. You would essentially qualify for the program if you qualify for a standard FHA mortgage, which allows for you to have 2-year work history and a 640 credit score. Now, if you don't have the 640 credit score, don't become discouraged. One of the things that we do at the Hara Group is help people make minor adjustments to their credit so that they eventually can be qualified for programs such as CHDAP. So those are the three key features that the program has to offer. Now let's look at an example. Let's take a standard $200,000 purchase price, and let's use a traditional FHA mortgage that requires a 3.5% down payment, which in this case would be $7,000. So in addition to the $7,000 down, you also need to take closing costs into consideration. But what we are finding right now is that if you use an experienced and knowledgeable real estate advisor, those closing costs can be negotiated to be paid by the seller, allowing the buyer of this property to still do it with $7,000. Now, with CHDAP, being that there's only a 1% contribution requirement, a buyer can in essence purchase this property with only $2,000. So in itself, a great opportunity. However, what the banks are willing to let you borrow may or may not always be the best idea. It depends on your personal finances. At the Hara Group, we not only teach people how to purchase property, but more importantly, how they can protect that investment at the close of the transaction. And we do that by creating simple and powerful plans. Plans that are grounded in financial principles, one of which is having emergency capital. We define emergency capital as having at least 3 months of your payments set aside in a reserve account after the close of the transaction. So great. The banks will allow you to buy this property with only $2,000 in the bank. But with no reserves in the bank, what happens when life throws you the curveball? No reserves equals a lot more risk. We like to see our clients have as much money at the close of the transaction as possible because more reserves equals having a lot more safety. So with that principle in mind, let's look at a strategy to increase safety by using CHDAP even if you have more than the 1% down. So going back to our example, if you only have 3.5% down or $7,000, using a traditional FHA mortgage would leave you with no money in the bank. So instead, if we were to use the CHDAP program and have only 1% required from the buyer, this would then allow you to purchase the property for $2,000. In essence, leaving you with $5,000 of money for reserves. Now, going back to the example, the payment would be approximately about $1,350 in this scenario. With the payment of $1,350 and $5,000 in reserves, we would be able to achieve what we'd like to see in emergency capital, which is at least 3 months of payment available. So with no increase to cost or payment, you can see how CHDAP is a powerful tool to increase safety and create emergency capital. So hopefully now you have a better understanding of the CHDAP program and how it can be used to purchase property with as little as 1% down, and also how it can be used as a powerful tool to increase safety. So for more information, please contact your Intero real estate advisor about scheduling your own home buying planning session. Thank you very much, and I look forward to connecting with you.